if we had something like this, this is what we did yesterday. It was quick to factor, right? Where we go x plus 3 and x minus 3. Agree? We've done this? Yes? But then sometimes you might have one that looks like this. 16x squared. Let's make that 9. 4. Can I do this in my head, Jeffrey?
Yes.
I think that's right. 18. No. 18 plus 18 is 36. All right. So this was the quick way on this. And then sometimes if you have 3 terms, if you look at the first and the back end, if you have perfect squares at the front and the back, sometimes you can just say, oh, this is going to be 3x plus 2 and 3x plus 2. That should have been 12. I made a mistake. It should have been 12. All right, so sometimes this will work. Now, this one becomes, the bottom one is a perfect square trinomial, meaning that you have the same 2 binomials you multiply together to get there. Now, if you can't get the bottom one right away, you can go back and do it as the old way. Agree? But, I'm going to try and lead you through some of these. So does everyone have this worksheet 7.9, whether your paper is pink or it is white? Does this make sense? So my goal for this week is we have 7-9 today. We'll have 7-10 tomorrow. We don't have a quiz planned for this week. Is that okay? But we have some other things. Let's see what else is on this. So 7-9, 7-10. We'll have 7-11 on Thursday. Friday, we'll start something called the zero product property. And then that's just other stuff. So I think we have planned for next week, Thursday, I think it's Thursday, that we'll do a test on this unit, okay? But not 2 days from now, but like 9 days from now. Deal? All right, so what I want to do is I want to go over 1 through 10 on 7.9 with the understanding that you can stop me if something doesn't make sense right away. Deal? And I want you to kind of really, put effort in and listen to the words I'm saying. I'm trying to say the same terminology each time for a reason. And again, there's just all kinds of different things. But let's take a look at problem number 1. Let me bring up the worksheet. No, bring up the worksheet. Where's my worksheet? There it is. All right, so let's take a look. So I know it says that they want us to memorize. They want to memorize these. Friends, I'll be honest with you. I will put this up on the board always. And does everyone understand how these numbers are gotten? When you're raising something to the second power, that means you're multiplying it times itself. Okay, and I'll put this up on the board. I mean, yes, we want you to have it memorized. If you don't memorize it, are you going to make it through the rest of your life? Yes. You'll do just fine for the rest of your life. Okay? Oops. Let's get rid of that little 0 there. So that's basically the perfect squares, the first 12 perfect squares. Okay? 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, and 144. Everyone's good with that. All right, so let's go back to the very first problem. So the very first problem, we have x squared minus 11x plus 28. So we have to try and factor this. So I'm going to multiply the first and last together, and I get a positive number. Agree? Now listen to carefully how I say this, because I've tried to say it the same way each time. In order to multiply two numbers together and get a positive number, both numbers have to have the same sign. So they're either both positive or they're both negative. What up there would tell us that they both have to be negative? What sticks out that says they're both negative? The negative 11. Good. Good. Negative times negative is positive. And then I just do all the factors. And I kid you not, like anytime I'm doing this on my own, I'm not just jumping to, oh, I know exactly what it is. I'm going through, okay, 1 times 28 is 28. 1 or negative 1 minus 28 is negative 29, so that's not going to work. And then I go to 2 and 14. And are you all okay with breaking these down using the calculator? Like if you divided 28 by 3, you're not going to get a nice number. You're going to get decimal. So don't use it. So is there any way if 2 and 14 were both negative, they add up to this negative 11? No. What about 3 and 8? Yeah, if 3 and 8 are both negative, do they add to negative 11? I think so. So do I have to list 4 and 6 then? No, I would stop right here. I mean, you list them all out if you want, but this is going to be minus 3x minus 8x. So if I combine those together, I get negative 11x. Whatever order I want, I can plug these in. They're going to squeeze in right here. So bring the ends down. Oh. Wow. Wow. Yeah. Clearly Stirrup is on something. Oh my gosh, we're trying to get to 28, so we're going 4 and 7, right? Bien? Oh. Ay caramba. All right. So clearly Stirrup doesn't know his own factors. But I've made it this far in life, so okay, sorry. All right, so minus 4x and minus 7x works. Is that better? Whew. All right, what do I have in common between those two? X, very good. Then I have x minus 4, agree? The middle sign always does what? Yeah.
Why did it go to x minus 4?
Oh, thank you. Why does it go to x minus 4? Because x squared is x times x, right? And if I take one of those x's away, I get x. And negative 4x, if I take an x out, leaves me just a negative 4. So what I have left behind. All right. Middle sign always comes straight down, agree? Have I changed the wording of that at all? What do I have in common between these two? What number goes into 7 and 28? 7, good. The signs change. Why do the signs change? Because I factored that negative out. Good. So my answer is going to be x minus 4 and x minus 7. Now, I've said this, and I'm only going to do this one time. Is this the same answer as the above? Yeah. So these are the same. Those are the same. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Wait, how do you get rid of the x minus 4 on the right side?
Oh, okay. So what's happening is I have grouped in parentheses x minus 4 on both of those, right?
Yeah.
So I have those the same. So I'm going to factor that out of both. Goes right there. And then whatever's left goes in the other set of parentheses. So you take, so basically what you did is you had 3 terms here, right? 1, 2, 3. X squared is one term. Negative 11 x is another term. 28 is another. I've split that and made 3 terms into 4 terms. Agree? And then those 4 terms, because I factored by grouping, this is a term now and this is a term. And so if I factor the x minus 4 out of both those terms, then it comes down there. And that was like a whole mouthful. I'm not going to ask you to regenerate that. We're going from 3 terms to 4 terms. What the heck is this guy talking about? He's crazy. Well, you guys knew that. All right. So, my friends, is number 2 one of the faster ones we could do? I think it is. Why do you think it's one of the faster ones? Yeah, the x squared. X squared is a perfect square, agree? Because x times x is x squared. That means x squared has to be a perfect square. And 49 is a perfect square because that's 7 and 7. So this is a faster one. So maybe you write this down, and I'm going to put PS for perfect square, and I'm going to put PS for perfect square. I have a perfect square at the front end. I have a perfect square at the back end. Agree? Does that wording make sense how I just stated that? So this is just going to break down to x plus 7, x plus 7. Wait, why aren't the signs alternating? It's only alternating. You only get the alternating signs on the fast way if it was 2 terms originally. Okay? But that one worked out quickly. Now, let's say you're not able to do this the quick way because you're like, I didn't see it. You can say, oh, that gives me positive 49. Both terms have to be positive. So I get 1 and 49 and 7 and 7. And you get a 1x squared plus 7x plus 7x plus 49. Factor out an x. Middle sign comes down. Factor out a 7. And then this yields back to that answer. Agree? So do you think I'm going to dock points if you'd have to do these the long way? No. There's just a couple times a situation where it might work to go the faster route, but it might not. Number 3, I feel very comfortable that it's going to be one of the faster ones. What's something that sticks out to you on number 3 to indicate it's going to be one of the faster ones? Yeah, there's only 2 things up there, right? You have x squared and you have 49. And they're separated by a subtraction sign, right? So this is going to be simple. X times x is x squared. 5 times 5 is 25. One has to be positive, one has to be negative. That one you have alternating signs on because you want the middle sign, the middle term to cancel out. Okay? So this one is pretty fast. Now, I'm going to put a little note. You see this minus sign here? Must be minus for this to work. Maybe make that little note there. If that was x squared plus 25, it doesn't factor. Well, it factors into something called the imaginary numbers. I kid you not. That's actually the name of the number system. Yeah, I honestly think that they have named the number systems to be as confusing as possible. Do you know that you have number systems called real? There's one called not real. In the not real, you have the imaginary. You also have the complex. In the real is all the other numbers you've ever dealt with. Fractions, decimals, and things like that. But I kid you not. They name them. They named them to be big jerks. All right. Number 4. I think this is a fast way like number 2. Why do I think it's a fast way like number 2? 16 is a perfect square. What else is a perfect square? 9x squared, right? So this is a fast way. Okay? So what times what gives me 9x squared? 3 and an x. Agree? Okay? What times what gives me 16? Exact same numbers. Okay. Now, friends, both of these have to be the same sign. You think they're both positive or both negative? Take a look at it before you say it. Both positive or both negative? Both negative. I have a negative at the 24, so both of these have to be negative. Now, if you can't do it the fast way, that means you're going to have to go 9 times 16, which I can't really do in my head. Sorry. I know I'm disappointing you. That's 144. Factors of 144. So Negative 12x and negative 12x would work if you plugged it in here. Okay? All right. We feeling comfortable? Does everyone have all that written down? Can I start moving it down a smidge? We're good? All right. Is number 5 a fast way or is it the old way? Old way. Okay, the 4 is a perfect square, though. I agree. Is 3x squared a perfect square? No. So I'm going to multiply negative 4 times 3, and I'm going to get negative 12. Friends, in order to multiply two numbers together to get a negative number, what do you know about the two signs? Negative and positive. Okay, so I know that 1 and 12. Can I stop there? Why is that? You're right. Why is that, though? There you go. So this is going to work. If I go positive 12x minus 1x, does that indeed give me that 11? If I made it a negative 12 and a positive 1, I get a negative 11 there. So then I'm going to bring my ends down, and I'm going to squeeze in the middle this. So whatever order you want, I don't know, you can maybe go plus 12x minus 1x. So what does it look like I have in common with those first two? 3. Anything else? 3x. And that's going to give me x plus 4. Agree? Middle sign does what? Comes down. If nothing's going to look like it's going to factor out, what's my placeholder number? 1. Signs change because I factored a negative out. These are the same. Agree? And you get to there. Okay? Is number 6 one of our fast ways? It is. What stands out to make it a fast way? Only 2 terms, right? Are both those terms perfect squares? Yeah. 3x times 3x is 9x squared, and 4 times 4 is 16. So just make yourself 2 sets of parentheses. 3x times 3x is 9x squared. 4 times 4 is 16. What do you know about the signs? What do I know about the signs on this one? Positive and negative, alternating signs. Okay? All of it. All right, friends. Is number 7 a fast way or the old way? Old. So multiply here. I get positive 10. Shh, shh, shh. I'm almost done, guys. Let me get done with this, please. Shh, shh, shh. All right. So in order to get a positive number, we have to have the same signs. What are both signs going to be in this case? Do you have any negatives in the whole problem? They got to be both positive. So 1 times 10 and 2 times 7. Hey, which one works? Oh, it's not 2 times 7, is it? 2 times 5. I'll tell you what. Can't take me anywhere right now. All right, so plus 2x plus 5x. That's going to plug in right there. Bookends down. Squeeze it in. What do I have in common between these two? X. That leaves me 5x plus 2. Middle sign comes down. If nothing factors out of this, what's my placeholder? 1. So what's my answer? Yeah, 5x plus 2 and x plus 1. Cool. Is number 8 a fast way or is it the old way? Old way. Negative 40 times 1 is negative 40. In order to multiply two numbers together to get a negative, what do you know about the signs? Positive, negative. All right, so 1 and 40, not going to work. 2 and 20, not going to work. No, you're trying to get to negative 3. 5 and 8. 5 and 8.
Yep.
Giddy up. All right, so it's going to be a negative 8x and a positive 5x. Agree? That's going to squeeze in right there. So let's bring the ends down. And then plug that in. Watch your signs, though. What do I have in common on those first two? So I had x and x minus 8. Middle sign comes down. What can I factor out of both of those? A 5. X minus 8. What's my answer? X plus 5 and x minus 8. Cool. Is it starting to sink in? I think you guys are starting to get this. Why not? All right. Let me get these two, and then you. Hey. As soon as I get them started, you and I are working on the back together.
No.
Yes.
I
Me.
wanna work alone.
All right. Number 9, fast way or old way? Old way. Negative 30. Agree? What are the signs? Positive, negative. Okay, 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 5 and 6. Which one works? Yeah, there's going to be an X in there, definitely. Oh, negative 1x, right? Cool. Which one of those works? 5 and 6. So negative 6x plus 5x. That's going to squeeze in right there. So bring the ends down. Minus 6x plus 5x. What do I have in common? X minus 6. Middle sign comes down. What do I have in common? 5.
Wait, how do you get x minus 6? Do it same side?
Well, I factored an x out of this, so I left with an x minus 6, right? X comes out of there and there. 5 comes out of there and there.
Third time. I don't wanna see this disturb anymore.
Oh, my chopped liver. All right.
Disturb is gonna help me.
Let me get you. Let me get you. All right, number 10, last one I'm doing for today. Fast way or old way? Old way. Multiply those together. 6 times 12, I believe, is 72. Agree? And it's positive. Are both signs positive or negative? Both positive. So I'm trying to figure out what's going to add up to that. Nope. 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 4 and 18. Nope. What else works? 6 and 12 works. Anything else? There's one more. Who's got it? 9 and 8. Very good. So plus 9x plus 8x. Yes. All right. Bring down the ends. Squeeze this in the middle. Okay, what else factors out of the first two? 3. Anything else? X. And I got 4x plus 3. Middle sign comes down. What comes out of this one? 2. You got the answer? Cool. All right, me friends. Hey, I want to give you guys a lot of time to get the whole back done. Finish
No,
the back.
no.
You have time to work in class. This isn't free time. I want you to get this working. Deal?
Time, Jeffrey.